Okay, dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video received the most votes to be made first, and that is hero selections. With the hero remix and team criteria reintroduction in 7 nights, the number of heroes useful in both PvP and PvE have diversified, and these heroes are also great in both contexts. So the main types of selectors include the level 50 plus 10 Awakened special hero selectors from events, jumping check-in, comeback package, and also the newbie check-ins. There's also the level 1, 4-star or 6-star unawakened special hero selectors from regular check-in, mega deal shop, and the topaz shop. There's also the level 50 plus 10 awakened normal hero selectors from level up rewards, mega deal shop, and newbie check-ins. And then we have the unawakened 4-star to 6-star normal hero selectors from events and the castle rush shop, and also the prime special hero selectors from the jumping check-in as well as the topaz shop. So we will look at special hero selectors first. The first special hero you should get at level 50 plus 10 is Yeonhee. In fact, she is one of those heroes who you will need 2 copies of, one awakened and one mythical awakened if you want to use her in PvP. Awakened Yeonhee is used for the most basic routine in the game, and that is ruby farming, and she can be used in many stages, even the latest Territory 15. If you want more information on farming, do check the specially curated farming playlist for the details. Mythical Awakened Yeonhee is one of the core heroes in a PvP magic team, as she is one of those who provides buff block in the magic team. Her passive and skill set also has a certain degree of utility in PvE when used as a magic DPS hero. If you already have your Yeonhee, then the next most important hero to have is Fenrir. Fenrir is one of the more recent heroes released that immediately became an SS tier hero in both PvP and PvE due to his incredible passive that boosts lethal rate of all allies by 50%. And of course, he is also the only hero that provides immunity to HP control. Insert sad mist noises here. So if that's not enough, he also nullifies block and boosts the damage capabilities of allies. He is also an offensive hero, allowing you to satisfy 3 offensive hero criteria easily, and Fenrir is used in almost any PvE mode and in the popular offensive team comp for PvP. So he's definitely a must-have for all new and returning players. The next special hero, or should I say special heroes on my list, are Colt and Eileen. They are both physical attack buffers. Colt increases physical attack by 40% if there are 3 or more offensive heroes, while Eileen increases physical attack by 50% without any condition. So you may think Eileen is hands down better than Colt, and yes, that is a fact. But the reason why Colt is superior to Eileen is because she is an offensive hero, making her preferred if you have an Awakened Dillo as a pet. Awakened Dillo does require 3 offensive heroes to be present for his second half of the patch here to be activated, which increases your damage output much more than what Eileen alone can provide. So there is a conditional situation here. If you don't have an Awakened Dillo, Eileen is better. If you do, Colt is better. The next special hero is currently only available in regular special hero selectors and not from the jumping check-in, and she is Regin Leif. I truly only began to recognize her capabilities in PvE recently due to her amazing ability to reduce block rate of enemies by 10% each turn up to 100%. And even if you were in a short battle of maybe 3 turns, 30% block rate reduction is still good enough, so just imagine longer battles. You won't need to worry about inconsistent damage. Furthermore, she is a magic hero, so she can sometimes fit in magic comps if necessary. I use her in raid, and you can check how she comes in handy in Castle Rush as well in the video linked above. In PvP, she is seldom used now in the top tier, but in the lower tiers, she can still be a big threat with a third attack boom effect. Another hero that is easily usable is Dylan's. In PvP, he is one of the strongest offensive heroes, especially after transformation, as he hits 3 targets with his basic attack. He is also the buff block debuffer for offensive PvP teams, but what makes him so good in PvE as well is his passive, which reduces defense of enemies by a flat amount of 2000. And if you couple this with an Awakened Dillo, there will be a 4000 defense decrease, removing the need of casting defense reduction debuffs on the enemy if their defense is lower than 4800. The last special hero who I think you should have at level 50 plus 10 ASAP is Rin. Disclaimer though, Rain is only used on a magic team because her utility lies in her passive that boosts the crit and lethal damage of allies by 50% if there are 4 or more magic allies. With this criteria in a 5-man team format, you can only use her in magic teams. In PvP, her preferred allies include Yonhee, Eve, Skuld, Anti, while in PvE you can use her with Valika, Sylvia and Yuri. I do have 7 more special heroes to mention, but I do not see them as huge priorities and do not need to be at level 50 immediately from the beginning. The first is Skuld. She's incredibly strong in PvP after her remake, not only hitting insanely hard but also providing a buff for magic allies damage on offensive and universal enemies and also giving shields. This can also extend to PvE in the right situation. She could possibly be used over another magic hero in a magic team, but in most cases the heroes mentioned earlier and some normal heroes who we will talk about later offer more important buffs than Skuld, so she may not be used all the time, and even without her you can still do good damage. Rudy is another good hero who has flexible utility in both PvP and PvE. He used to be better, but they nerfed the Fortress skill, which only provides one-time skill nullification now. Still, he can provide your team with amazing bulk, and in the PvE context, his healing and skill nullification could help save you from dangerous situations if your gear is still not good enough. Speaking of healing, Clemith is also a great hero to get if you do not have her because her healing capabilities are insane and possibly one of the best in the entire game. However, as she is a blue frame hero, I do not recommend using a selector for her if you do not have the previously mentioned heroes. Clemith is not a necessity, but a good support hero to consider only once you have managed to get the core heroes. The fourth hero is, surprise, Vanessa. The reason for her sudden reappearance is due to her awakening skill reset capabilities while also being a magic hero, allowing you to fulfill Rin's and Yeonji's magic ally criteria easily. She is a good alternative if you do not have the reset awakening skill accessory on Valika or do not require a Seek on your team. But please take note that she is only used in PvE context because she is way too weak for PvP now. Then we have Red Grid, who is currently the latest hero added to Selectors. She is primarily used in PvP to boost the offensive team in insane levels, and she can cast Isolation when she is touched, making her a very annoying enemy to deal with. As her usage is fairly limited and really only becomes much more useful at level 50, she isn't a priority for newer and returning players who have not gotten the previously mentioned heroes as well. We also have Wukong, who is the buff block provider for universal teams. At the current moment, universal teams are not used very commonly in PvP, and Wukong doesn't serve much use in PvE either, being a universal type. So he isn't a priority for now until universal based teams see a power surge, maybe with Mythical Awakened 13. Freya is also a pretty decent hero for both PvE and lower tier PvP. She provides an immediate crit damage 50% increase for allies, so she is a good substitute for Rain and Yuri, who we will talk about later. She also provides paralysis immunity, making her great in accessory raid. In PvP, she is a fixed damage queen and can also cast blind, which is hardly resisted. And of course, she is better used in the magic team. And you might be wondering now, why haven't I talked about that certain hero? That queen who needs to be mentioned. Yes, Rachel. The reason why I didn't mention her earlier is not because she is useless, but because new players can basically get her to level 48 or 50 for free, and returning players probably already have her. Rachel was the queen of PvE, but her utility has also decreased over the past few months. Her usage is mostly limited to Guild Raid and sometimes used in Castle Rush as well. For newer players, you can easily max her out with the 7 night selectors from your newbie check-ins and the level up rewards and pointers stuff. So there is no need to waste special hero selectors on her when there are other heroes available. So those are what I felt are the most important special heroes at the moment. Take note that there are some amazing heroes like Gerard for dev teams, Abel for farming, and Rangrid for siege defense and PvP who are not included in selectors yet. Now let's talk about normal heroes. I will start with those you must have at level 50 plus 10 ASAP. The first normal hero is Valika. For new players, you can get an immediate level 50 Awakened Bellica from the level up rewards, while returning players will need to build her up to handle raids. She is by far the best magic DPS used in raid, guild dungeon, and also event dungeons, so you must have her. The current physical DPS will be none other than Mei. She is the best physical DPS with 3 powerful single target skills that hit very hard and allow her to have 100% accuracy. As such, she is used in Castle Rush, Guild Raid, Guild Dungeon, and Event Dungeons. Mei is also available in Awakened hero selectors already. The next hero you need to have is Yuri. She is the hero who has taken over Rachel's main job and provides better buffs like crit rate and crit damage increases. She can also cast the same debuffs as Rachel, remove enemy buffs, and increase your damage on offensive magic universal enemies. Basically, she is almost an all-in-one PvE support unit, usable with any DPS. Then we have Sylvia, who is probably the most important Awakened hero in the entire game now. She is the main debuffer for Guild Dungeon, provides accuracy rate increases, and most importantly is a magic hero who is a magic attack buffer, providing a 50% increase in magic attack. So in a magic team, you are basically guaranteed to use her. The next two heroes work in a similar way, and they are Seek and Aragon. They are mainly counter-build heroes who can reduce cooldown of your team whenever they perform a basic attack. This is important in allowing you to be able to maintain consistent DPS damage in a short period of time. While Seek is able to reset Awakened skills, making a great companion for Avelica, Aragon's usage is far more niche as he provides reflect immunity for your team and is also able to reduce the enemy's awakening gauge in Guild Raid, making him a Guild Raid must-have specialist. Another useful normal hero is Nox. He is a great farmer for map 610 for newer and returning players who need to rush that fighter soul level. 610 is one of those maps that drop a great amount of soul shards during boost mode, so it is worth considering farming here with Nox, who can give you stable runs as long as you give him double speed items. Not only that, Nox is quite a key hero in the death teams for PvP, reducing enemies' death resist rate by 30%, making him the only Awakened hero still used in PvP. Then we have two cats, raid specialists, Rook and Chloe. Rook is specially used in item raid for cooldown increased immunity, while Chloe is pretty much the Rachel for raid. However, you do not exactly need her if your DPS and other support heroes are strong enough to withstand damage from the bosses. Chloe is really there to help in two situations. Number 1, to provide you with greater damage output, or number 2, to completely prevent the boss from using skills with her cooldown lock. If you want to see how that is done, do check my raid playlist. Then we have Hayong, who is a defensive support hero, but you do get a free copy of her from Pointer Star, and she is also a light element hero, so I strongly suggest not to waste selectors on her since she can be built pretty easily. We also have Bidam and Da Qiao, who are two heroes that provide formation change immunity. Depending on the elemental type you require for different DPS team comps, you can pick either one. Before we conclude the video, I do want to talk about the last two extreme ends of the selector spectrum. You may encounter unawakened normal hero selectors along your journey as well. Again, the priorities will go to the above heroes who you have not built up. But if you do wish to make the most out of this, some useful unawakened normal heroes include Xiao, who has 2 skills that apply cooldown increase and is one of the heroes who can completely lock raid bosses from any skill use. Another viable choice is Yui, who provides burn and silence immunity. Cleo is also a good pick if you want to farm fast in 610. On the other extreme end of hero selectors, we have the elusive Prime Special Heroes. Currently, the only possible selectors are from the Jumping Check-in, which only gives newer and returning players Galidus, Milia, and Phi, as well as the Selector costing 2000 Topaz that provides all the Prime Specials up till Eve. If you are a new and returning player, please do not throw all your Topaz here and feel like you are the king of the world, because these Prime Special Heroes, although strong, do require some building up. Furthermore, Topaz is very important and rare, so think twice before spending. Let's talk about Milia and Phi first. Milia is a PvE based hero at the moment, being one of the strongest multi-target DPS around, especially for Heavenly Stairs, while Phi is primarily an offensive team hero in PvP. 5 will give newer players a huge edge in PvP, while Milia will be good for those who want to build up an endgame Heavenly Stairs team. Please do not ever pick Galidus because Galidus can be synthesized super easily now with just 4 special heroes and you can do it twice a month, so do not use Selectors on him. Galidus is no doubt one of the strongest multi-target DPSs in the game as well and is worth the gradual investment. From the Topaz Shop Prime Selector, you also have Rosie, Judas and Eve. Rosie isn't used much at this point, so she isn't worth the pick. Judas and Eve are the only 2 apostles released so far and they are very strong in PvP. Judas, however, also has very high utility in PvE due to the passive, which allows your damage output to increase by 50% immediately. So to be frank, if you do want to pick one prime special from the beginning, Judas is the best. This is the final priority summary chart which you can use as a reference depending on the selector types you get. So I hope this video helped in terms of giving you an idea of who to pick. If you have all the heroes mentioned here already, then feel free to pick anyone you want or choose heroes for Hero Sanctum. Check my video for that, and big shout out to my channel members ZMD Phoenix and Reggie Bautista for the support. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much and see you!